My name is Esther Callahan. I'm the Senior Special Projects Coordinator here at Free Arts Minnesota. We are a local nonprofit organization that brings the healing powers of artistic expression and adult mentorship to youth who have experienced homelessness, poverty, mental illness, or neglect. Or just youth that are underserved, and we want to be able to say, hey, we want to provide arts access and a caring adult to come out there and work with you. Not only is bringing adult mentors in on a weekly basis really important, but showcasing artists that are working in this field that are making a living off of it to say, hey kids, there's another opportunity for you here. And one of the things that Face Forward does really well is they don't have sort of a niche in what they do. Their niche is that they do all of it. And so it's sort of great because I can just say, hey, I'm looking for a person of color who works in spoken word. Boom, Face Forward has it. And they understand what we're working for, they understand how to work with children, they come to the table with such knowledge that we can't even get to our mentors. The partnership though has grown from just bringing in one guest artist to now this past year I think we had 6 or 7 that we brought in because of the quality. Not only was it the quality of the performers, but the quality of the leadership at Face Forward. If I had a question, it was answered quickly. If I suggested, here's an issue that we're facing, it was addressed immediately. If there was a suggestion on how to gain documentation or observational anecdotal information, it was, hey, let's do it. How can we collect it? Let's go from here. Let's move forward. If this is going to help you, it's going to help us. And that relationship has been very valuable for us because that's not always the case. Sometimes when you're working with an organization, they have very strict set standards of how things are going to be. And Face Forward has standards for sure, but they are also willing to work within the parameters that they're given. And that's really, 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 really great from our perspective because it just makes a partnership easier. And partnerships can be hard. They can take a lot of time, they can take a lot of energy, and being able to jump in with a partnership with somebody who actually understands where you're coming from and the work that we're trying to achieve just makes it easier. Well, so we've had this really great opportunity to be able to provide a number of guest artists from Face Forward to one of our sites specifically because we had a grant to actually bring in guest artists. And so we've worked with Face Forward exclusively to bring in guest artists just because, again, of the quality of the guest artists. So we partner with this local homeless shelter called the Bridge for Youth in Uptown Minneapolis. And we have been able to bring in guest artists to really help provide ambassadors for change. That's our program, that's what we want to do, and I think that just aligns with what Face Forward does, is you provide guest artists who are ambassadors for change. The projects that they're doing are projects that I myself or another mentor could potentially do, but it's not the project itself, it's how it's presented is what's so fantastic. Let's take, for instance, Jesse Golfis, who came in and did a project painting for positivity. So he just took a blank piece of canvas, started talking about how we're going to put a bunch of bright colors on this canvas, and those colors are going to represent all the good that happens to you. Now, we're working with homeless kids. They're facing a lot of bad. So to talk about the good first was already just like what is this guy doing? He doesn't know where I'm coming from. The kids were just, no, I don't want to hear any of this. Then he starts talking about how we're going to cover all of this good with these lines of creativity, which is all these different sizes of tape. So all of this tape that's going over is showcasing that we have creativity that's running through all parts of our lives. Then we're going to just cover that whole thing up with this dark black paint that represents all of the negative that we have. But instead of focusing on that negative, what we're going to do is once it's dry, we're going to now peel all those creative lines, and we're going to be able to look and in that darkness always find the light. Now, I've done this project before. How Jesse explained it was just like a light bulb went off, like, oh my gosh, you're brilliant. This is the best way that we could have pulled these kids out through a simple painting project, but it was because of the way that he described it. It was the way that he understood where these kids are coming from. Whether he had experienced it or not, he got that. He made that connection, and when he brought it to that group, not only was it so important for those kids to see that there was somebody in the community that cared enough for them to share this experience with them, but also it was that next level experience. They got to paint, but not just, we're gonna throw some paint into a canvas. There was intention. And that intention also had choice, which is huge with teens. They had the choice of color, the choice of size of tape, the choice of dark color that they wanted to put on, how much tape they wanted to put on, how much paint they wanted to put on. Buy-in is so big with our teens, and Jesse just got it. And it's not just Jesse. Everybody that's come in has presented themselves in a way that takes the mundane and turns it into extraordinary. So we have Alyssa, who came in and worked on dance. And not only was it just, we're gonna dance, it was, we are going to learn about how dance is intrinsic to all of us and how it unites us in a way where your voice can be heard without speaking. You know, there's Pearl, who comes in to talk about spoken word and how important your voice is, whether you're saying it out loud or writing it down. And how do you find that voice? And little did she know that every single one of those kids afterwards has a journal now that they write in all the time. The impact that you can't even, that's not even tangible, but yet sometimes it is, sometimes it's not, it's just there. It's just every time we have a face forward guest artist, the kids and the mentors and the staff at our sites, we inspired with what's next? How can I do this again? Where can we go with this again? Who can we bring in again? Can we hire them over and over and over again? It's great. It's really just been truly wonderful.